Right?
Well,
that's fairly significant. I'm just saying.
Well, but that's how fast he isn't the fastest guy in a year that the fastest guy was 4.37.
Right.
He's the fastest guy ever.
Ever, yes, I know.
Lad McConkey was a 4.39.
Yeah.
He's a 4.21.
But people used to say that, like 4.4 used to be the sort of the standard for being fast. And well, now these guys are 0.2 of a second is something. But still, just think of it in your mind. 1/10 of a second it's that.
Yeah.
That may be too long.
I'll say
I don't know if I can snap my finger in 1/10 of a second.
I don't think combine time on its own is
right. They didn't draft an unaccomplished wide receiver.
But because someone who runs a 4.21 who doesn't really have athletic speed through the game is not as valuable as someone who is 4.28 and
also
does.
apparently dropped weight and made a concerted effort.
That's what some were saying.
Break the record.
But if two players have the exact same route running ability and sports ability, and one guy's 0.8 faster, I'll take that guy.
I don't disagree.
We just don't know that that's
but I'm
the
just
case.
saying it's almost impossible to quantify whether somebody's abilities.
Yeah.
You can quantify 4.21.
Yeah.
It's there. It's electronically timed. But when the gun goes off, it starts, and when he hits the tape, it stops.
I think the fact that Brett Veach came out talking about, the fact that he runs route and all, he was ready for. Did you just redraft Cole Hardman?
He was ready. He was defensive. I think he was defensive for him. Or maybe it was just late or whatever. Maybe it was late for me. I don't know. I listened to all of it, and I listened to him, and I'm like, geez, he keeps trotting out the special teams, and he said special teams 3 times. And
yeah, I don't like that.
No,
that part does scare me. I'm with you on that. But
so did Andy Reid.
But listen. I will say this: I am done with MVS. They're not, but I'm done with Kadarius Toney.
Right.
And so you pick the guy. Like I said, your draft crush. If all you do is they got to take my guy, you're going to be, especially when they pick 32 every year.
Yeah.
It's not a good chance you're going to get your guy. And that was the thing that happened. Jazzu J. Cole said, well, I wanted Brian Thomas. Well, he went 23.
Yes, so did I, but he wasn't there.
Right.
Well, they should have traded up. Well, what if somebody wanted 3 first-round picks? Well, not that.
Yeah.
Well, they should have gone to 20.
I will say this. I think
just given a third.
Yeah. I think I sort of alluded to this. If Xavier Worthy isn't a good pick, however you want to define that, this will have become a trend for the Chiefs.
Oh, for sure.
It's already close, if not one already, that he is going to break. Yeah. But if they... this is a Brett Veach problem.
This is almost
you can have a problem when you've won 3 world championships, but Brett Veach and wide receiver, that'd be to the point where you'd say, please, don't pick another one.
It's more than 25
pick
picks
somebody
higher
else
than any pick they've used as a wideout on a wideout. So yes, there's certainly
this regime
because they have the 3 that are right together in the mid 50s. This is you can't. A second-round guy, maybe you can tail off, but 28, he's got to hit, obviously.
Well, I think second round is significant, too. But, yes, this is the 28th pick. Yeah. It's that much more significant.
All right, the rest of it.
And it's more than 28 because you spent to get there.
I like the rest of it. I think they got a safety they picked a safety at a position it wasn't one of their greatest needs. You can always use good football players, who I think was rated much higher. Looks like an athletic tight end who sort of a different model than the one they've had before. Accomplished center who maybe isn't, the measurables type, but played good, sound football, smart football player. I think it was solid across the board. The draft itself probably lives and dies as far as quote-unquote ranking it on Xavier Worthy.
I do think that they have got to start getting more picks.
They ain't going to get more picks. Brett Veach can't help but trade up.
Well, they amazingly, they didn't lose any picks with 2 trade-ups.
Well, I think the one thing they're going to have to start looking at doing is when they hit on some guys, they got to be willing to trade some guys. Not just let them walk in free agency. I'm glad L'Jarius Sneed, they put the franchise tag on him. But somewhere along the way, like this offseason, if you're like, we drafted that center to be Creed Humphrey's replacement, and the things I read are like advanced, could start in his first year, fifth rounder, that's a lot to ask. Maybe somebody else thought he was going to go higher, and maybe there's more flaws in his game. But if you think he can, or you think he can play guard, then trading Trey Smith or Creed Humphrey, Joe Thuney's contract makes it a lot stickier. But trading one of them now for a third-round pick and start getting ahead of the curve, because you know what? Everyone's figured out 32 ain't very valuable. The fact that it says first round, I don't need to give my third-round pick to go from 38 to 32. Right? So, like, I think they've got to start, like, the Richard Seymour trade. Listen, I love Chris Jones, and I'm thrilled that he's here. There's no point in talking about it anymore. But at some point, they're going to have to do another Tyreek Hill trade to kind of reset it, because let's not forget, all they won without Tyreek Hill. Yes, and all the picks he got them, where they had their best draft class. Yes. And there are 3 zeros in that class that nobody mentions, because they had 12 picks, used 10 of them after moving around, and they came away with 7 good players. And you because they had 12 picks to start the process.
And you would think that, Brett, because clearly he likes his job. I mean, you can see that he's the joy of what he uses phrases like, I can't help myself, and he wants to be involved in the action. And so you would think he would like more picks, but he's more, and more eager than patient. I guess that would be fair.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So overall, your grade is?
I'm going to give it because I wasn't totally enamored with the process of picking the first pick. I'll give it a solid, better than B++.
B++.
I won't.
Almost an A-.
Almost an A-.
Okay.
Yes.
An A-.
A-, no?
Or A-.
I just don't like the A. I'm not. To me, A is reserved. It's like to me that a play-by-play announcer. Every play can't be a 10.
Yeah.
Some plays
settle down.
Some plays have to be a 6 and a 7, so that when the 10 play comes, when a guy truly makes a great catch, not an Alex Gordon, I slid and made the catch. I didn't make a sliding catch.
Right.
The difference between
I made the catch and slid.
Right. Diving catch and a catch and dive.
Yes.
So then you need 10. So that's why I went B++.
Danny's Unleashed series brought to you by our friends at Easton Roofing. You can find them online at eastonroofing.com. You can, whether it's your home or your business, commercially, they're one of just a handful of manufacturers that work with the very best commercial roofing manufacturers. That's right. Elevate, Gateco, JM, Carlisle. They only supply the very best roofing companies. They supply Easton Roofing. They can write warranties at Easton Roofing on commercial flat roofs up to 30 years. Only a handful of companies across the entire country can say that. That's right, I said it. The entire country. Find them online at eastonroofing.com.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Hey, Kansas City, Joe Spiker, Easton Roofing, back for another beautiful springtime in Kansas City. We are proud to announce our renewed partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Kansas City. Starting in 2024, a portion of every job sold will be donated to a cause close to my heart. I was a big, and I encourage you to volunteer. And if you hire us for service on your residential or commercial roof, you'll know that a portion of the profits will go to a great cause. So call us at 913-257-5426. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
All right, the Joe's Kansas City Barbecue burnt end of the hour answer. How many members of the Baseball Hall of Fame have worn the jersey of the Kansas City Royals?
So, like George Brett's obvious, but then there's guys like Harmon Killebrew, Orlando Cepeda, Gaylord Perry,
Whitey Herzog.
Whitey's the manager.
Yep. That's 5.
Joe Gordon. That's 6. I'll say 7.
It is 7. The 7th being, along with Joe Gordon, one of these that was a manager for the Royals but is in the Hall of Fame as a player, Bob Lemon.
Oh, right. The man with the biggest nose in the history of mankind.
And that's including Ernie Lombardi.
He's really a nice man, too.
Yeah. Oh, well, because most people with large noses aren't? Is that the problem?
No.
Is that what's shocking?
No, I'm not saying that.
Look at the nose on that guy. You know he's an ass.
True.
Wow.
There's noses, and then there's Bob Lemon's nose.
Never knew there was that kind of,
Well,
hatred towards big noses there, man.
No hatred toward big noses. Just point out, I was making fun of the man's nose, so I did want to point out that he's also a very nice man. I used to go to the Hall of Fame every year when I worked in upstate New York and did the game there, so I did the press conference every year for 7 years, and he was always there. He liked being there. That was good.
So Bob Lemon or Bob Feller?
And then I was about to say, and then Bob Feller went there every year because he likes to be there, and that wasn't a good thing.
No.
Yeah, he was.
No.
Yeah.
The less we say about Bob Feller, if you're a fan of Bob Feller, just don't even look up an article. Just remember that Bullet Bob Feller threw the ball faster than a motorcycle.
I'll just say that while we were there in '99, Danny found out that I was going to be the Feller was going to be one of the 5 I'd be talking to, and he goes, "Oh boy, you're going to love that." And I'm like, "It can't be that bad." And I came back. He goes, Well, and I says, "Nailed it."
It was that bad.
It was as advertised.
Yeah.
Why? Did he just one word you?
Well, they have 5 guys in a semicircle, and it's from 9 to 10. I remember it's 9 to 10. He comes in 10 minutes to 9. Everything started. He goes, "You got 10 minutes. Let's go."
And
so we kind of asked him a few questions.
And some of it you can't even. A lot of it can't use because he's a wild-eyed racist
and just bitter and
anybody except white folk.
Yeah.
He pretty much doesn't like. Wow, it was bad.
By which time George Kell and Harmon Killebrew and Bobby Dorr had sat down. I'm like, I think I'm going to go over here and talk to these guys.
Those guys,
because they're actually aces.
Right,
much better.
And Bob Lemon was aces too.
And it precisely 10 o'clock. Or 9 o'clock. All right, that's it. He took off, and someone looks over the shoulder and goes.
He's like Pete Rose, though. He had to go sign crap.
Yeah. The guy says, "There goes Bob down to Main Street to sell the name."
Joe's Kansas City Barbecue. We just gave it away. You can order your Joe's on the way home tonight. Joe'sKC.com. Send it anywhere in the country at Joe'sKC.com. We're at the Iguana, Salty Iguana, celebrating Cinco de Mayo. The party's already started. It'll rage all the way through Sunday. Come take advantage of great drink specials all weekend long, like any 4 beers. You can get 4 Corona Premiers for just $10. Get a bucket of beer right now for just $10. Take advantage of that. The Patron, perfect Patron margarita for $8. That might be the direction I go.
Sounds pretty good.
I'd have to go a margarita. Celebrate, in style.
There you go.
What do you think?
Just to conclude the Bob Feller rant. I didn't minor league.
I thought I did when I went and did the business stuff.
I did minor league.
That was the signal to turn the corner.
I did minor league baseball for several years there, and I at least 7 or 8 times a year, Bob Feller was throwing out the first pitch at whether it was Watertown, New York, Oneonta, wherever the hell it was, Auburn. And tonight, it's a special treasure to have the Hall of Famer Bob Feller coming out. Yeah. Okay, Bob, again. Thanks. Good to see you. Good to see you, big guy. Right.
So hang on. After all that, I'm fuzzy. Are you a fan?
He's a nice feller.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Would he let you interview him if you listen to his podcast, though?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Super.
Petro Seabolt, Danny Klinkskill here, Adam Dravetta running the operation back at the studio. We're here at the Salty Iguana on the patio, so come on out and join us. The Royals, what are they going to do on the next 6? Finish off this night. It's the 19-game Prove It Tour.
Prove It Tour.
And they're 7-6, proving it so far.
This is almost purely for the sake of entertainment, but seeing as you guys both picked 3-3, and I think Adam probably wanted to pick 3-3, or did you pick 4-2, Curtis?
I said 3-3.
Yeah, so Adam.
He was ridiculed.
He was gutless.
I know, I heard it.
I analyzed and picked 3-3.
So I'm going to just do this just for the sake of argument and say they're going to go 2-4. And there's going to be a little flat spot and a little tension, a little worry after they don't get it done in this 4-game stretch. That's what I'll see. I see some
6-game.
6-game. I see some warning signs that right now could lend themselves to losing a couple series against a good team. I mean, nobody's hitting except for the aforementioned Bobby Witt Jr. and